And in the major data breach, it was hit one of the internet's most talked about apps, T, the anonymous dating review platform that's gone viral for letting women share stories and warnings about men has been compromised. Tens of thousands of private images, including verification selfies and ID photos, have reportedly been leaked online. Marketed as a virtual whisper network for women, the app is now in hot water after an unauthorized access was detected on Friday. The breach compromised 72,000 images, including more than 13,000 selfies and photo IDs submitted during T's account verification process. Around 59,000 of the leaked images were pulled from within the app. That included posts, comments, and even private messages. The rest were sensitive images used to verify identity, the very process that T promoted as a measure to ensure safety for women on the platform. Now, the data was first spotted by 404 Media, which reported that the files were posted on the message group 4chan as part of what some online called a hack and leak campaign specifically targeting the app. T has launched an investigation bringing in third-party cybersecurity experts. The company insists that emails, phone numbers and any recent user data were not affected. The app recently hit #1 on the US App Store this week, with nearly 2 million new followers requesting access in the last few days alone. But with this leak, the platform now finds itself under serious scrutiny.
अब भगदड़ में कुछ लोगों के घायल होने की सूचना मिली थी, जिसे तत्काल पुलिस बल द्वारा वहां से जितने भी लोग थे उनको वहां से हॉस्पिटल लाया गया लोगों के सहयोग से, और करीब 35 लोग यहां लाए गए थे जीडी हॉस्पिटल में, जिसमें से अभी 6 लोगों की मृत्यु की पुष्टि हुई है। बाकी लोगों को या तो यहाँ इलाज चल रहा है या उन्हें हायर सेंटर भेजा गया है तत्काल। इसके पीछे जो मुख्य कारण अभी तक हमारे जो प्रथम दृष्टया समझ में आया है, वहां पर जो मंदिर मार्ग में करीब 100 मीटर नीचे सीढ़ियों के पास में ये करंट लगने की अफवाह को लेके ये भगदड़ हुई थी। अभी इसके कारणों का हम लोग का पता लगा।
An American Airlines flight aborted takeoff in Denver International Airport as smoke billowed from the belly of the aircraft. Once again, it was a Boeing. Eyewitnesses footage showed passengers evacuating through emergency slides from the fore and the doors of the aircraft, some carrying small children. In a statement to Reuters, American Airlines said that the plane experienced a mechanical issue on takeoff roll at the airport that involved an aircraft tire. It added that all 173 passengers and 6 crew exited the plane safely, and the aircraft was handed over to the company's maintenance team.
You okay? No, he's not.
And Denver International Airport posted on its X page that the airport's first responders and the Denver Fire Department responded to a reported issue with flight AA3023 on a runway. It said 5 people were evaluated for injury at the scene and 1 was transported to hospital. This is the second incident witnessed at the airport in the past few months, both the incidents involving a Boeing aircraft. In March, an engine on an American Airlines jet caught fire after the plane diverted to Denver after the crew reported vibrations. And viewers, all of this adds to the series of Boeing-related incidents worldwide. On the 19th of July, a Delta Airlines flight bound for Atlanta had to make an emergency landing back to Los Angeles International Airport after an engine reportedly caught fire shortly after takeoff. And then on the 1st of July, a Japan Airlines flight bound for Tokyo experienced a mechanical malfunction, causing it to fall nearly 26,000 feet in the sky. The plane, which held 191 passengers and crew, descended from approximately 36,000 feet to just 10,500 feet in a matter of 10 minutes. Now, all these incidents, which are just a few out of the actual incidents which have taken place in recent past, they follow Air India passenger plane crash in Ahmedabad in June on the 12th that claimed 260 lives.
Unknown, it's just an emergency alert. Possibly for occupants, but unknown location, possibly near Bear Lake End.
Do we have a location of where that patient is at on North? I just tied in with our staff and they haven't heard or seen anything in the dock area. Just across the circle, set down still. We have more and more people trying to show up for other businesses. Do you want us to pull this back or just a little closer now? We can let the entrance exit south to South Airport go.
All unknown, it's just an emergency alert. Possibly for occupants, but unknown location, possibly near Bear Lake End.
Do we have a location of where that patient is at on North? I just tied in with our staff and they haven't heard or seen anything in the dock area. Just across the circle, set down still. We have more and more people trying to show up for other businesses. Do you want us to pull this back or just a little closer now? We can let the entrance exit south to South Airport.
In the quest to find food in Gaza, waiting in the heat is just the start. Tekiye, they call it, community kitchens that hand out hot food, a line of last resort against Gaza's hunger. And so Sabrine Jaidi showed up at 6 a.m. We have 20 people in the tent, and the little children are crying for flour, she says. We are forced to come to feed our children. When it is a matter of survival, even handouts come with a cost. Israeli and American negotiators withdrew from ceasefire talks Thursday, blaming Hamas for not acting in good faith.
Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. They're going to be hunted down.
Late Thursday, France's president declared plans to recognize a Palestinian state in September, saying there was no alternative to a two-state solution. Israel's prime minister swiftly condemned the plan as rewarding terror. Prime Minister Mark Carney, meanwhile, wrote, Canada condemns the Israeli government's failure to prevent the humanitarian disaster in Gaza. Canada, he added, supports a two-state solution, but he stopped short of planning to recognize one.
So what is preventing us?
So I am traveling to New York on Monday to have this very conversation with our counterparts.
But there's more that G7 countries, including Canada, could do to end the crisis, says this Canadian former UN Special Rapporteur.
That countries in the global north are going to have to take a significant step forward by looking at sanctions on Israel in order to make any lasting progress on achieving a Palestinian state.
In Gaza, Palestinians welcomed France's announcement as overdue. But this man made his point by asking the children around him, what do you want, a state or flour right now? He asked. They want to eat, he says. You're talking to me about waiting for France. People are waiting for aid. And people are still waiting for aid. Nala Ayed, CBC News, London.
A deadly attack took place in southeast Iran. Armed terrorists stormed a court building in Iran's Zahedan city. A total of 9 people have lost their lives, including 6 people and 3 attackers. Wearing explosive vests, the assailants reportedly tried to enter the building, disguised as visitors. Over 20 people have sustained injuries in the brutal attack. The attack took place in Zahedan, the capital city of Iran's restive southern province of Sistan and Balochistan. Police and security forces immediately took control of the site, 1,130 kilometers southeast of Tehran. Jaish-e-Adl, a Baloch armed group based in Pakistan, have claimed responsibility for the attack on its Telegram account. The restive province of Sistan Balochistan shares a long border with Afghanistan and Pakistan. The area has been the scene of recurring clashes between Iranian security forces, including the IRGC and the rebels from the Baloch minority, radical Sunni groups, and drug traffickers. In October, an attack on an Iranian police convoy in the province killed at least 10 officers.
A tragic death for another female influencer in Pakistan. TikToker Sumira Rajput has been found dead under suspicious circumstances at her home in the Sindh province of Pakistan. Reports claim she may have been poisoned by individuals who were allegedly pressuring her into a forced marriage. The untimely death of the Pakistani content creator sheds light on grim human rights situations in Pakistan and how it is worsening with each passing day. According to local media reports, Rajput's 15-year-old daughter, who is also a TikTok creator, alleged that the suspects gave poisonous tablets to her mother, Sumira, which led to her death. The incident, which occurred in Ghotki district in Sindh, has intensified public concern over gender-based violence and forced marriages in the region. A well-known content creator, Sumira Rajput, had more than 58,000 followers and over 1 million likes on her posts on TikTok. She is the latest victim in a string of targeted attacks on female influencers in Pakistan. In another such case, 17-year-old TikToker Sana Yusuf was shot dead just last month at her home in Islamabad. She belonged to a family of activists and was known for her outspoken support for girls' education and women's rights. Meanwhile, in January earlier this year, a 15-year-old girl named Hira was allegedly murdered in Quetta. She was killed by her father and maternal uncle for refusing to quit TikTok. In the year 2016, social media personality Kandil Baloch was strangled to death by her brother. The case sparked international outrage and a national debate on women's rights in Pakistan. Now, as far as Sumira's case is concerned, authorities have taken 2 individuals into custody. Ghotki district police officials confirmed the claim of TikToker's daughter, but stated that no FIR has been registered so far. As of now, the investigation of the case is underway.
On their hands and knees for hours at a time, these California farm workers brave the elements daily to put food on America's tables. Now, many are forced to choose between going to work and risk arrest or stay home and lose their livelihood.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Ventura County fields were among the many locations targeted by immigration agents in early June raids that rattled California. The chilling effects of those raids are hitting hard a state that is the top producer of agricultural products in the country.
California's agriculture is a $60 billion industry. More than 1/3 of all vegetables and 2/3 of fruits and nuts in the United States are grown right here.
34-year-old Marisol says she came to the U.S. from the Mexican state of Guerrero 12 years ago, looking to make an honest living in a safe place.
So you've been paying your taxes this whole time.
Sí.
And now grappling with the fear of being deported each day she goes to work. Many of us are scared to go do our jobs, she says, but then we have to pay our rent and bills, and we have no option but to go to work and pray nothing happens to us. She and her husband are both farm workers. Her main concern, if they were arrested by ICE, she says, is their 4-year-old daughter. I don't have anyone that could take my daughter, she says, except for her daycare teacher. Even those in less precarious situations are afraid here. Yes, I am scared, Patricia says. She's heard of American citizens and legal temporary workers getting detained by ICE agents. She says they just come and sometimes even hit you before asking if you have authorization to work or not. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, did not respond to CNN's request for comment. For growers like Guillermo Jimenez, who depend on this workforce daily, it's more than a nuisance, especially in summer when produce is ready to pick.
We are also fearful, he says, because we've sowed the seeds, but we can't harvest without people.
Jimenez says if that pattern continues, he will have to scale down.
Activists are blasting this week's immigration sweep at an Ontario grocery store. Hey, it's Morning Edition host Austin Cross. Federal agents told the store manager they were watching someone in the parking lot. When that person ran inside, officers followed. Shoppers panicked. Soledad Cardenas told KCAL News her daughter thought she was going to be taken.
She's like, Mom, why did they take the guy? She's like, is it because he's brown? She's like, because I'm brown. And I told her, no, Mama, you're okay. You're good. Like, nothing's going to happen to you.
No word on how many people were detained in that operation.
Today in Ontario, another ICE raid and another U.S. citizen taken into custody.
I'm right here, Angel. I'm right here.
Angel Pena says he was minding his own business when masked federal agents showed up at the Stater Brothers. Customers began to shout at them, telling them to leave, but some went inside the store. Nearby doorbell video shows Pena running away, approaching a passing SUV looking for help, but the agents wound up violently taking him into custody.
They were shoving my head against the ground, elbowed me, and they used forcefully a baton to really pierce my side.
Pena says he tried explaining to the agents that he was an American, but they ignored him.
I had an ID, I had a social, I had a birth certificate, and none of the officers, the ICE agents that were on scene, they didn't care about none of that.
Only when a supervisor showed up was he released.
This is Dabu 7, and believe it or not, we have yet another object, this interstellar object, making its way toward Earth that many are saying could be an alien probe, it could have life, a bunch of different theories surrounding this, but an official report put out, and it's making headlines because if you recall, the very first interstellar object that came through our neck of the woods was dubbed Oumuamua. That means scout, which is something that you send out in front of the larger army to scout things out before they arrive. This is now the third object, and Oumuamua was long, it was metallic in nature, and it lifted up out of here, picked up speed, and took off out of here when it passed Earth. They don't deny none of this. It's all out there in the open. Now this new object making its way in, dubbed Atlas. They're saying it could potentially be a comet, but seeing where it came from in its trajectory, it's very peculiar. And they're saying that it is not following the line of any other comet, so to speak, if it was going to be a comet, that it starts to fall in line with dropping into the area out of an unknown place. They don't know if it will be hostile. They don't know if it'll be peaceful. None of these things. But it's obvious they've been setting the stage for a grand show. Blue beam, alien invasion, the whole works. Something big is in the offing. And with stories like this continuing to drop, it seems like it's inching closer and closer. Now, I've tracked objects like Comet Elenin, Ison, all those throughout all these years. All kinds of different comets, the Kachinas, people say, potentially in the sky. I've never seen one look like this in the imaging, where it has all of these different colors like this. Never. All we've ever seen is it look like this down here in the bottom right on the black and white images, and when it gets close enough, the comets, so to speak, you could make out the tail off the comets, and you can see these from your own backyard with the telescope once they get close enough. This object is going to come right down near Earth to make, I guess, an observance, but when it makes its closest approach, it will be hiding behind the sun. We will not be able to see it. It will strategically and literally be parked behind the sun when it's at its closest approach. So, very odd with all the characteristics here. They're expecting this to show up here later this year. It's moving at an enormous amount of speed, more than 130 miles per hour. This is moving faster than any other object that they've clocked coming in this way. At this point, they're saying, dubbed 3I/Atlas. This is the new, as they call it, interstellar entity that is heading this way.
Firefighters used helicopters to battle intense flames and smoke near Athens, Greece on Saturday. Soaring temperatures fueled the wildfires across the country. Several homes were destroyed and residents were ordered to evacuate. At least 5 people were hospitalized due to the fires. More than 50 wildfires have broken out across the country since Friday.
Ξεκίνησα από τη δροσοπηγή, μέσα στην κοιλάδα που έχει. Πολύ γρήγορα λέγω το αέρα ανέβηκε το λόφο πάνω, ενώθηκε με ένα άλλο μέτωπο που ήταν πάνω και αυτό το μέτωπο ήρθε προς το κρυονέρι. Ο αέρας είναι τρομερός, βλέπετε τι γίνεται τώρα εδώ πέρα, η ταχύτητα, μία είναι εδώ η φωτιά, μία πάει απέναντι, είναι πολύ γρήγορα όλα.
Αυτή τη στιγμή, αν λείπαμε από το σπίτι μας, θα είχε καεί τελείως. Όπως φύγαμε την άλλη φορά με τη φωτιά, γιατί φοβηθήκαμε, σήμερα μείναμε. Γιατί στο δευτερόλεπτο, δεξιά, αριστερά, γύρω-γύρω μας περικύκλωσε φωτιά. Και φωνάζαμε να μας σβήσουν τη φωτιά και γιατί το σπίτι μας θα μέναμε χωρίς σπίτι. Το καταλαβαίνετε? Αλλά να ευγνωμονούμε τους εθελοντές και την πυροσβεστική, γιατί τρέξανε αμέσως, δεν μπορώ να πω, αλλά είμαστε πολύ τυχεροί.
Γιατί το 1974 που έφυγε από το σπίτι μου, που είναι και 16,5 χρονών, έτσι ένιωθα. Και έκλαια ειλικρινά που κρούτσε ο κόσμος. Μετά μάθα, έκρουσε και ένα άνθρωπο μέσα από το αυτοκίνητο, ο άλλος αγνοείται.
¿Vas a jugar con la estrella?
Esa weá quería ver una weá así loca, por hermano. Va a chocar con él.
Còn ly nữa. Ôi, gặp hết luôn đó. Lịch sử luôn. Thật là một lịch sử. Kiếp, thật sự kiếp thật. Lên được, 30.000 lên được. Ô, không. Nhà đi bay luôn rồi. Nhà gặp hết, nhà gặp hết.
Δεν υπάρχει τίποτε, αφήκαν τα ούλα να ταούν. Αφήκαν τα ούλα, δεν υπάρχει ένα πυροσβεστικό ρε παιδί. Ένα πυροσβεστικό όχημα, κατοικημένη περιοχή.
Θα χειρογράφει pomoć στο Facebook.
Уволни съм дозирал живот.